fuzzy PJs. Hopefully everybody grabs a coffee and we can chat. Do you know that 6 months from today is Christmas? Is it too early to start planning for that? I know in years past, when my kids were small, I used to look around this time for deals on toys and stuff that maybe were on their list last year that they didn't get. So things like, for example, when they were Monster High dolls, I looked for the new Monster High dolls that were on sale or some older ones that they don't didn't have, and purchased them when they were on sale, especially when there was some sort of deal. I would start trying to plan uh, Christmas spending starting in the summertime, because that way it's not so crazy amount of money you spend in November, December. Do you guys do that too? I also start thinking about what Christmas experiences we do. Now that my kids are older, they're not really into toys per se. They do like certain electronics, and they pretty much have all the things that they necessarily want. Not everything on the market, but everything that they want or that they use. So we tend to do more things like experiences as well, like going to the trampoline park or museums and stuff. My kids have done the museums. In years past, we've gotten like family memberships at museums, and that was fine. But they've done the museums, and they're just not as fun as when you're younger, apparently. Um, that being said, um, usually for Christmas, birthdays, and stuff, we will also put some money towards experiences. For example, my youngest, Abby, goes to music camp in the summer. The camp itself is quite costly, but the travel to get there to and from camp costs as much, if not more, than the camp itself. So it's not cheap. We save up for it, and she usually gets some money towards it from her grandparents and that too. So um, like for example, my oldest this year, well, this year coming up, she wants to go. There's a trip for school to New York, and she wants to go there. It's not that expensive, all things considered. But I'm like, okay, well, part of this will be, for us, you might want to save up some money too, and then part will be for like Christmas. We always put stuff under the tree because I love giving gifts. Uh, that's one of the few things I like. That's my love language, is giving and receiving gifts, not cards or anything like that. I know a few friends who love cards, but I like gifts. It's not the monetary amount; it's the thought that counts. Like it's actually sometimes, actually usually more precious to me if something's made and useful to me or my family. Like, that's why I like practical kind of gifts too, like appliances or um, gift certificates to restaurants or stuff like that, because that's what we kind of like to do as our entertainment, is restaurants and movies and swimming and stuff like that. I know it's quite early, and that's why probably people haven't popped in here, because everybody's sleeping or on their way to work. And it's Monday, so today, actually this week, my husband is off for work. He's managed to take time off because in Quebec they celebrate Saint Jean Baptiste Day, which was technically yesterday, but today is the statutory holiday for it. And then next Monday is Canada Day, statutory holiday, so Sunday is Canada Day. So he managed to take off a couple of personal days of leave, and he gets a week off work. So and he just he's at that point, like, he just needs a break. Very stressful job. Um, they've had a lot of major deadlines the last couple months, and his department is short-staffed because they just put also a hiring freeze, even though they were in the process of interviewing, and that, like, in the government, it's a long process of hiring. So it's like a couple months long process, sometimes 8 months in the hiring process, because it's all the different red tapes, and then the resume submissions, and then weeding them out, and then the first layer and the second layer, and then interviews and blah blah blah. So when you're already short-staffed, that means there's less people to do the same amount of work, but the work is still expected to be on a certain deadline. So it's now kind of slowed down. It's the beginning of summer. Everybody, all different departments take a little bit slower time. Like, the busiest time is from like January to May, because there's government year end and all that stuff. But the summertime, a lot of different departments have different people off, so it just takes longer to get things done. So he's like, okay, I can take some few days off and get a whole week's off. So that's what he's doing. Who popped in here? Yay! No, it's quite early. I couldn't sleep. My neck's been sorry. Hey, Hardens, how's it going? I was just saying I was up early, and it just clued in today that 6 months from today is Christmas. Yeah, when I can't sleep, I just have to get up, because if otherwise I toss and turn, and then I feel miserable. So I'm like, let's start my day a bit early, and just start slowly. I know. I was like, the 25th of June. I'm like, oh my goodness. That's Christmas is in 6 months. So I mean, that's half the year. I can't believe that the half of the year has been gone since Christmas. It just feels like it was only a couple months ago. And I'm like, I have to think about Christmas on that, but the 4th of July. Ah, yes. Well, here in Canada, we have Canada Day, which is the 1st of July. So my husband works in Quebec. Like, we live in Ontario. He works in Quebec, and Quebec has a holiday called Saint Jean Baptiste, which is the 24th of July. But since that was on the weekend, he gets today off. But then also a week later we have Canada Day, which gets the Monday off, even though it's on a Sunday. Canadian Boxing Day. Yes. um, so he was able to take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So 4 days of either, like, with the government, he gets a personal day, he gets like a volunteer day, he gets, um, I think he gets 2 or 3 personal days and a volunteer day. Like, you have to use them up or you lose them, and then he still has his vacation. So he manages to take 4 days of work off, and he gets over a week. Like, he gets 2 weekends and 2 days because of the way that the holidays happen. So he's taking this week off and just relaxing and just doing stuff around the house and just chilling with the family, because also the girls are off school, as my oldest has her last exam this morning. Abby is already done. She had her last exam Friday, and we're just kind of get back into the groove of summer. Like, there's only me, right? And I'm not very good at things. I get easily distracted. So I've just been like maintaining the status norm and not getting much further production done. So with the summertime, with the kids home, I'm not going to have them being on their phones all summer. I'm going to be having them, pitch in, sharing their responsibility and stuff like that, and hopefully get into a group that it's not just me, because I'm like, I want to have fun with them too. We like we're kind of the with some of my friends, we're kind of the strange ones. We actually really enjoy spending time with our kids, and we like doing things with them. Like, if it was um, an opportunity to go on vacation, just the two of us, or an opportunity to go on vacation with the kids, we would go with the kids, because you know we're all about trying to like share with them experiences that they might not otherwise have, and I think, and they like it too. Yours are out for the summer, yeah. Yeah, because you guys get school done end of May, right? Beginning of June. Our kids, like, if they're non-high school, they still go this week until Thursday. Friday's a PD day. But in high school, exams started last week, and then they're done whenever their exams are done. Now, if you were in the French school board, they were done a week earlier, but they also start a week earlier. Same with a couple of the, like, the Christian school board, like the Christian schools, they start early, they end earlier too. They start, they don't start earlier, but they have longer days, because they tend to bus from around the area, and there's like only a couple of schools in our area. They start at something like 8 till 3:30, so they get like an extra half hour, which adds up to like an extra week. So they get off a week earlier than the public or Catholic school boards. Yeah, see, we don't go back to school usually until after Labor Day in September, except for once every like 8 years or so. There's Labor Day. Excuse me. Labor Day ends up really late, like around the 8th or so of September. Then we might start the 1st of September or the 31st of August. Go to school and then have Labor Day. The Catholic school board year round. Catholic school board here is just like the public school board. Um, they start the same times, they end the same times. They sometimes have the same PD days, sometimes they don't. Like, for example, sometimes even like the public elementary PD days and the high school PD days are not the same. And same with the Catholic and the public school board. There's about, I think, 8 PD days in the school year, and about 5 are the same with both boards, or even with both elementary and high school. There's about 3 or 4, because we've tried to connect with friends, because my kids were in public school and then now in Catholic and in the high school, and we tried to connect with friends in the public board, or even just in another Catholic board, just an hour away. Their friends moved about an hour away, and it's different PDAs. I'm like, seriously, come on. But they're here. I've heard in the States they're really strict on when your kids are when they're late or not at school, because of the way that your government funds the school, that the kids aren't there, like delinquent, and it's delinquent. See, the school doesn't have the funding. Here in Canada, that's not the way it works, because otherwise my youngest would have been like in jail or something, because she's been late more days that get kidnapped. That's why. Oh, really? So here, like my youngest has. I can't. I'll have to look at her report card. Remind me when the report cards come out. I'd really like to see how many days she's been absent and been late, because one of her teachers, because they're in semesters, so there's 4 courses. One of her teachers on the last report card, like, said she was only late like twice, or was absent like twice. And I know for a fact she was absent like 4 or 5 times, because she was absent the other classes. And when we do appointments or anything, it's usually going to be, if it's in the morning, she's gone all day, just because if we have to go to CHEO, which is the Children's Hospital, it's an hour and a half bus ride there, hour bus ride back. We get back before, like, just when school ends, so it's not. Um, or we have appointments in the afternoon, so she'll go to school, say in the morning, and she's absent in the afternoon. But one of her afternoon teachers said she was only like absent like twice, and I'm like, I know for a fact she was absent. She was sick more than twice, let alone absent for appointments, or you know, if she has a headache, because she also has eye pain and stuff like that. So she'll get like headaches, and by the end of the day, that's when she'll get them. In the morning, if she also deals with insomnia. Getting to school on time is rough, but also by the end of the day. So if anything, she's going to miss the last period. No longer controlled, or yeah, and we're just talking regular school. Like this is they're at the Catholic high school. That's not even private. So here, in Canada, in Canada, we pay for our taxes if we want our taxes to go to the Catholic school board or the public school board. So if like my husband was baptized Catholic, I was baptized Christian, um, and you can go to the Catholic school board even if you're not Catholic. Like, actually, they're at my daughter's high school, and I know they're not Catholic because there is about 20 or 30 Muslim people there, because there's a lot of the girls with the hijabs and stuff. There's a couple of Sikhs, and um, and you don't have to be Catholic to go to the Catholic school board. You just have to be um, you just have to be okay with the Catholic school board teaching them about religion. Religion is no longer. Yeah. See, here our taxes can go to the Catholic school board or the public. My kids started in public, went to Catholic. We should have probably put them in Catholic to begin with, just because they're much better funded. Um, Both my kids have different um, ability. My youngest was legally blind, now completely blind. My oldest has a learning disability, so there's a lot more funding and resources in the Catholic school board than there was in the public. And just the way that they deal with it, the way that they handle it is much better from it's been like night and day between the two. Yes, and so for example, in the Catholic school board here, like moral values and that too. They teach about religion, but they teach about acceptance of all religions. Like my oldest this year in grade 11 religion class, it was on world religions. So they went to a Sikh temple, a Muslim mosque, a Jewish temple, an Aboriginal spiritual house building thing, um, a Buddhist temple. There were six. There was one other one that was not traditional Catholic or like Protestant, Anglican, Christian, you know, type religion. No, they did Muslim, so they went to Muslim mosque, a Buddhist temple, a Sikh temple, a Hindu temple. That was a Hindu temple, a Buddhist temple, and an Aboriginal spiritual. I don't know what that one's called. Aboriginal spiritual spot. Like here in Ottawa, there's a big, huge thing downtown where it's like I think it's a spiritual center or something like that. Hey, Christian Grey, how's it going? Our country's shutting down all Muslims. Yeah. See, no offense to Americans and stuff like that. As Canadians up here, we are very confused about some of your um, actions because it just seems so wrong. Because both of our countries, I mean, most of them, well, exactly, most of them are not. I mean, most of them, most of the ones that come here from other countries are coming here because they don't like the actions of the terrorists that are in their own countries. They come escaping them for asylum to remove themselves because most Muslims don't agree with this tiny group of people that are like extremists. Kind of like with Christians, they don't agree with the tiny group of Christians that are extremists. Oh, thanks. It's my PJs. It's early. I didn't feel like getting dressed. Thanks. They come here because they want to get killed. Exactly. Exactly. Um, and the thing is, both of our countries have both been made by immigrants. You know, both of them. You and I probably are can date our ancestors from people that came over here on boats. you know, um, maybe you might have some Native Americans because they're actually the only ones that were here first. Yes, it's polar bears. It's polar bears, and it says polar hugs or bear hugs. There you go. Both English and French settlements. Yep, the English and the French. Well, actually, the first ones were Spanish too. Christopher Columbus wasn't English. He was a Spaniard. Yeah. So the stuff that we see on the news from your country, it concerns me. It that's just not like there's a way to do it, and there's a way that your government is doing it right now. It doesn't seem like the right way to do it. Like we have the same kind of thing. We have a large we United States and Canada have the largest unmanned border in the world. Okay, we have different spots where we have like um, where it's manned, but 90% of it is not manned. You know, people could go in and out. And when people come to our country for asylum from the States or from other countries and stuff like that, there's a process. Captain Cook was first. Yes, there was one other. He was not necessarily the first, but everybody thinks he was. I can't remember. There was something in history that was like, I think it was, I don't know, Captain Cook. And actually, Christopher Columbus didn't actually find America. He found like the Caribbean. So actually, I think also maybe the Vikings and stuff were here. Yep. See, leave the Viking. That's what I was gonna say. So, but yeah, we're we can all trace our bloodlines back to people who came here from other countries. Heck, I was born in the Bahamas. My dad was from Bahamas. My mom was Canadian. So I'm an immigrant. But we came up here. There's a proper way. We weren't looking for asylum. My mom came up here. My dad came here. I came up here. You know, there's you had to sponsor at the time. You had to sponsor them. I think you still do. Um, but for ones that are escaping countries because they're trying to look for a better place for their families, for the way that they raise their families, they are coming here because where they were living is not safe. Yeah, I have dual citizenship with Bahamas and Canada. Very cool. Um, so I don't know. I just think that there's just better ways that things could do. Like honestly, from what I've seen, it seems to be almost like a money grab because prisons in the States are different than prisons up here in Canada. Prisons in the States, from what I've heard, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm Canadian, so I don't know your politics and stuff very well. Is that the prisons are usually privately owned or funded or something like that. So the more people that they have in there, the more money these corporations get, and your um, justice system takes a long time to get through things. Not like ours doesn't either. Ours are government funded, so nobody is really benefiting from people in prisons. I mean, not like from what I've seen in the States. Yeah, so the dual citizenship means that at some point, if you want to come and live in Canada, you can. If you want to live in the States, you can. But if you come to Canada, you don't have to go through the immigration part like you would if you were just American coming to move up and live up here. You know, yes. Well, sometimes births happen early, and the way that your country is looking, you might want to move up here at some point, especially as you get older and your health deteriorates. Um, we have health care. When you're old and you're sick and you need to go to the doctors, you're not going to lose your house. That's one thing that just boggles my mind about the States. I have friends in the States who have kids with disabilities. Like I have a child with disability. Okay, there's been times that they've had to make decisions of either getting prescriptions or getting treatments available for their child that were maybe not completely life threatening, but would benefit their child, or pay their rent or mortgage. Because even with their insurance, it did not cover everything. Like here, our insurance, our healthcare doesn't cover everything. We have private insurance with like our employers and stuff like that, which covers some things. But if you're a low income family, you can get these things covered, 80% of it, you know? And that 20% that you can't get covered, even as if you're not a low income family, if you're that middle class or whatever, because I kind of consider we're middle class. Um, even though we only have one income, I consider it middle class. Um, we could apply for certain funding through like March of Dimes or the Lions Club and stuff for certain things for my daughter. But I have friends in the States that have to make these decisions, and sometimes with the meds that they can't afford all the meds all the time. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Get meds and all that cost me $200 and will cost me 50. Exactly. And this is the thing, like our meds and stuff. Yes, some of them are more expensive than yours. Like even if you pay for them outright, but most of them are they are our medical, like our pharmacies and like our pharmaceutical companies. We allow them to only charge this amount, so it's still able to be purchased by the average person, even without insurance. It might be expensive, but we have very few meds, which are thousands of dollars. Like my friend's um, child's on some hormone meds, which is quite expensive. They're like $100 almost a pill or something like that, or something. Yeah, I think so. She's managed, like she's more lower income. She gets half of it covered, so she's able to, the other half of it's covered by OHIP, and the other half she's managed to get through Trillium Fund. Or I think she pays like 10% instead of 100%. Anyways, if she had to pay out of pocket, it'd be like $300 a month, or no, I think $1,000 a month. Don't mix up lies saying your meds are not. They're the exact same ones. Actually, a lot of your meds come from Canadian companies. Do you know that? Good morning. My family's not a breakfast people. um, coffee. Coffee is what I'm having for breakfast. Let's see. My husband has day off, so he's probably sleeping in. Um, my youngest is probably sleeping in because she has the day off. My oldest has an exam that she has to leave at 7:30, and then she's going to go shopping with her friend to get a new bathing suit because her bathing suit, with bathing suits over the years they get kind of worn from chlorine and stuff. So she needs to get at least one new bathing suit, if not two. I said, well, go shop because she doesn't like shopping. What girls don't like shopping? So I would go with your friend, go shopping. Show me the pictures because we want to make sure it's at least some, it's decent. Like my girls are not, they're not exhibitionists, but they do like two pieces sometimes. So probably not doing breakfast. I might grab a muffin. Actually, I was just thinking about when I was making coffee. I might be making some muffins today because that's one thing. I kind of like to grab something more convenient if I'm hungry. But we tend to eat a brunch, like something around lunchtime. My husband does like breakfast foods, but he doesn't like waking up in the morning for breakfast. So if he's hungry, I might make him a special breakfast of just, he likes eggs and bacon and stuff like that. Love coffee, and by the way, awesome. Seattle, I've heard Seattle has really good coffee. Hi, Jack. How's it going? Hopefully you grabbed a coffee. Do you know what's from 6 months from today? Christmas. Christmas is 6 months from today. I have friends who have already started their Christmas shopping. They also have small children. Yep, time to review. Yeah, I've tried decaf. I don't like decaf. When I was pregnant with my babies, I did like half the time decaf only a little bit of caffeine. I didn't like it. Awesome, Jacob. Yes. But so I have a fake tree, but my husband likes the um, real trees. So the last couple of years I've gotten real trees, but I get them at usually um, IKEA, where you pay, I think it's $29 for the tree, but then you get a $20 coupon to use in January or February. So you're paying $10 for the tree, and then that way, because I am awful at undecorating the tree. As you see, I still have a couple of Christmas things that haven't made it into the Christmas box. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, you should just leave it there. It's a talking piece." So like, yes, every once in a while, I'm like, "Oh," because we'll decorate. We don't decorate a lot, but we decorate a little bit. But see, I don't do going to the farm. See, for example, I don't drive, so I usually go with a friend to pick up the tree. That's the hardest part is finding someone to help me pick up a tree. But see, with a real tree, I have to get rid of it because it sheds all its leaves. It's a pain in the ass for cleaning up. But it means that I don't have my Christmas tree standing up for months on end. I once, when the kids were small, because life just got too crazy, I did have our Christmas tree up for the whole year. It was in the corner, and we put stuff kind of like in front of it, and it was up the whole year. Never took it down. My cats don't climb the tree. They'll knock the balls and stuff. We've just learned not to put breakable stuff. They'll knock the things on the bottom rung, and sometimes we on purposely put the bells at the bottom rung so they just play with the bells. No, I've never had. We always attach our tree to the ceiling. Like we have these hooks in the ceiling for like a hanging plant, just in case the cat knocks over the tree. But they've never done that. Yeah, see here, well, we went to IKEA. Like we don't need a big tree. Like our ceilings are, well, they are 8 feet high, but we want actually a skinny tree because we don't have a lot of space. I mean, our living room width wise is only, I think, 10, 10 feet. No, our kitchen is 10 feet, 8 feet, maybe 10, 12 feet wide. So we don't want it wide because we like putting lots of presents underneath. You work at the Apple store. That's cool. We are an Android family, Christian Grey. We like Android just because, well, A, it's cheaper for the same stuff, and um, there are more apps and stuff like that are either free or cheap for Android than there are with Apple. And with Apple, you have to use their own stuff, and they're a status symbol. Like having an Apple product, it's like I've made it in the world. Exactly, it doesn't have the restrictions, and the newest Android phones are like the top of the line say is about $1,000. Like the other ones are Apple ones are like a couple thousand, and not as good of storage or whatever. Like not as big of storage. I hope you see my YouTube. Yes, Jacob, I will check out your YouTube video once I'm done my live stream. I always like to support you, man. Your fist bump. Apple here is $9.99. Okay, I'm talking Canadian prices, so it's more. It's way more than that. Hey Google, what is the cost in Canadian for the newest iPhone?
My apologies. I don't understand.
Hey Google, volume 50%. Hey Google, how much is the newest iPhone?
On the website time.com, they say it starts at $799. How much the iPhone X costs when compared to Samsung Galaxy. The latest Samsung Galaxy Android smartphone, the 64GB Galaxy Note 8, costs about $960. It is about $40 less than the iPhone X, though still more expensive than the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus.
I think people buy Apple first. Exactly. It's definitely a status symbol because, like, I know my kids' school and stuff like that. Oh, I got the new iPhone, or my dad got the new iPhone, so I got his iPhone. So it's all about the iPhone. But if you are an iPhone family, like if you have an iPhone, your kids have iPhone, it's easier to do it. Like if you have iPhone and Android, they don't talk well, so you have to do two separate things. Like our family, we do all Android. My kids did have an iPod that they shared when they first came out, the first uh, iPods, and we didn't like it because um, you had to have separate things so you couldn't transfer the stuff from one to another. With our Android, we have one email account um, that we purchase whenever we purchase apps on, and as well as we have our own email account that we use to buy the free apps. So anything that we purchase, we could put on my device, my daughter's device, my husband's device, my laptop, or whatever, in the Google Play Store. I think people. Yes. Well, we still have one of the little silver iPods downstairs. We don't you tend to get rid of our electronics. We do sometimes, but my husband has a graveyard of technology. Exactly, and that was the problem. And even though, so Apple products is nice in the sense that out of box experience, it's accessible to everybody. While Android takes a tiny little bit of tweaking. But for example, my family, we have two people who are blind or legally blind in my family. My family uses Android, no problem. There's apps on there that you could use to put a box around stuff and read the text as I was sharing with Jacob. But he has an Apple, so that app is not available for him. Um, so uh, my family uses, like, if you ever check on any of the live streams with Abby and she has her phone, you can hear how fast she'll be swiping, and that she goes faster. She hears at like supersonic speeds. Apple Play, we get 18% discount if you buy person. Well, see, that's another thing. If you like Apple, be an Apple employee, and then you can get a discount. What do you do with the returns of Apple products, or um, the stuff that they say is damaged or cracked or whatever, but still usable? Do you get to take those things home for free? Oh yeah, well my phone I pay it's like $300. It's like when you have an iPhone and you drop it and it breaks, you have to replace it, or you have to pay for that replacement care package. I drop my phone, it cracks. If I buy another one, I could buy three phones for the price of your of like a new iPhone. You're banned from using Android while in the store. Yeah, I guess you don't want to share the competition, or what's funny is I have friends who are Android Apple users, but they're also pro Android. And it's like how can you be all for Apple, but then still be Android? That is such a waste. At least what they should be able to do is to reformat or like refurbish them and give them away to the homeless and stuff like that, or the women's shelters. Well, at least there's that. But I've seen a few people on YouTube go dumpster diving. I've seen some videos, and they'll go behind like an Apple store, and they found like cases that were returned and like cords. A couple of times they found phones that were returned and probably still fixable, but the they go and they're like, oh look, they haven't found huge things. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I've heard that they're very uh, wasteful too. Like just throw them out. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure Android phones like companies do the same thing. It's just that Apple is such a big company. Well, a cell phone store could have multiple different things. Like I would say, like they showed the cases that were like say bought and returned, saying that they didn't like them or whatever. They were just thrown out instead of like sold at a discount, like used, $5 or whatever. You throw out. Yeah, I guess it depends on where the store is, because where these people went, the dumpsters were just normal dumpsters. They weren't like the squishing ones. But it's such a waste. There's just so much waste in this country, this world. Oh, sorry. I had a quick Xbox right with this. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I have allergies, and we went to my in-laws yesterday, and there was dogs and stuff. So all of a sudden, my allergies are going crazy this morning. I see college kids getting crazy about Apple Watch. I don't know. Uh, yeah, but they could sell it to a second-hand store or something like that for them to sell it. I know. I don't understand these Apple Watches and stuff. I have a friend who bought is all big on Apple and on Apple products and bought an Apple Watch and stuff, and she's like has things all timed and stuff. I'm like, it's so expensive for something that's not really useful. Yeah, well, and it's really just an expensive watch that's not very useful. Well, there's also there's a Google type watch for that too. That's similar too. I can't remember what it's called, but we have friends that have a couple of them, and like whenever the newest thing comes out, they buy it, and I'm like, that's kind of pointless. Now my husband does like when the newest phones come out, just to he doesn't buy them right away. Usually, because he works in technology with the government and accessibility, so usually he like right now he got the government purchased him one of the new phones, the Samsung, whatever the newest Samsung is, for him to test out the accessibility thing. And right now, with the program they have to use, like accessibility with the programs they have to use for work, um, to get into their secure service site and stuff like that. He gets to test them out. Like that's how he got like a BlackBerry Priv and test it out for accessibility and stuff. Have the Samsung J7. You can open your car door with it. Well, I don't have a car, but yeah. Well, that's also another thing with my friend just got a new car. She's got these keyless cars, right? And I'm like, my friend, she's like 77, and I'm like, you ever heard of time remembering where your keys are or your phone is? You're gonna like leave your key, like, just, but the good thing is that she can't lock her keys in the car. If her keys in the car, the door won't lock unless she's in it. So that's the good thing, because she's locked her keys in the car before and had to get CAA to come and rescue her. Get a call that make it very interesting. Because often lose one from the pair. Why don't they sell them as individuals? You'd think that they'd be able to sell them and make money that way. I'm gonna get more coffee. Hopefully, grab some more. I'll be right back. I'm back. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Do I ever visit Seattle? I've never visited Seattle. I've never been to Seattle. San Diego and San Francisco and San Diego and a lot of best places I just noticed. Somewhere else in California for work, where CSUN um, is. He's gone CSUN many times for a tech conference, and I think he's going next year, wherever it is. Hey Google, where is CSUN going to be in 2019?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yes, cool. I think every place has something that, oh, you can get really good whatever here. And it's always unique to see what's good in the area. Whenever we travel, we like to try and beforehand figure out um, what best places to eat, like what the locals recommend, and uh, see what's unique about the area. Like this summer, I'm hoping when we go to Toronto, we're only going to be in Toronto for a couple of days, but when we are in Toronto, there's supposedly this Filipino restaurant that's there that does this big, huge, like, family platter thing. Like it's and it looks really good because I've seen, well, I saw it on another cooking show or YouTube, I don't know, where they went to the Philippines and they had this type of family platter thing where it's like a whole table set with like foods, but they had them in Toronto, they have them smaller for two to, no, I think it's for four to eight people, depending on, we're a family of four, so you can get the bigger size. So it's like grilled meats and rices and all that stuff, but it's like it's like a buffet, but it's your own personal buffet. Here in Ottawa, we have, okay, beaver tails, which is not, it, they're, they're vegan, vegetarian at least. I think vegan too. They're not actual beaver tails. They're, in some places in the States, you call them elephant ears. They're basically a flattened dough, like a donut, deep fried. So it's like a kind of oval shape, deep fried. And then when they take them out the fryer, they put, um, cinnamon butter and cinnamon sugar on it. That's the normal way. Then there's Kahlua Sunrise where they sprinkle lemon juice as well, or they will do it the dough with Nutella, or they do it with maple spread, or they do it with garlic and cheese and butter one. I guess a savory one. I think that's all the flavors. So beaver tails. If you ever come to Ottawa, so Canada is the suburb of a West End suburb of Ottawa. We have beaver tails. They were actually um, created here. Poutine. So that's basically fries, cheese curds, and gravy. So cheese curds, they're mozzarella cheese curds. They're pretty good anywhere. Also maple syrup. You know, you can get that anywhere. And our beer, like if you like beer, our beers are honestly better than yours. They're stronger, and we have a lot of local craft beers. And like Canada has a lot of like we have almost all of our bars in there, like restaurants, too, have at least 5 or 10 local type craft beers on tap and stuff like that, or in bottles. Oh yes, here, so in the big cities, we have lots of Indian food, and good food. Like, it's very ethnic. So, like, where I live in Canada too, um, we have a lot of Vietnamese, actually a lot of Vietnamese restaurants, Indian restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Middle Eastern restaurants. Um, we have like a Chinatown. I know. I've been up for an hour. I know it's too early. I couldn't sleep. Good morning, Amanda. Hopefully you grab coffee. So yeah, um, in the big cities like Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, those type of cities, you can find um, pretty much any ethnic food. Like our Chinatown it goes like Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, and then near the end of it, you get a lot of Middle Eastern, in East India restaurants, and then there's Little Italy. So there's lots of like real good Italian spots where they make their own fresh pasta and um, like very straight from Italy stuff. Um, but yeah, there's lots of, name a type of food, we have it here. Like actually in Canada we have um, a few unique ones. There's some Middle Eastern restaurants. Good morning, Rowan. Did you sleep well? No. Well, think about it this way. It's your last exam.
I don't care about that. I care about sleep. My brain won't work it all the time.
Grab yourself a coffee. Coffee is fresh.
My brain won't make me well.
It's chicken tikka masala and garlic naan. Ah, yes. Um, we like here. We like curried lamb or lamb Rogan Josh or beef Rogan Josh. My oldest loves butter chicken. We like also chicken tikka masala, but tikka masala tends to be with bone. My husband's not too big on bone. Um,
How much money should I bring?
how much you?
We don't know how much I have. Okay? It's an extreme amount. Two. Oh,
Yeah.
so now I'm allowed to bring two zero.
Well, because you're looking for bathing suits, and they
Yeah.
can be expensive. Your Indian restaurants don't serve beef dishes. So here Indian restaurants do serve beef dishes and serve even pork dishes. I think actually no, I don't think about pork in them. Just they have beef ones, lamb, beef, chicken. A lot of vegetarian dishes. It depends on like if you. I saw a thing in about India that 90% of them are vegetarian, and then the other 10% could be whatever, but they're um, close to other Middle Eastern countries that eat beef and pork or whatever, and they tend to make beef dishes too. I don't know about pork, but
Can I
what?
have your pretzel pack?
Yes.
Can you grab it for me?
Um, actually, oh, Daddy wants to go. Yeah, you can grab it. It's my purse.
You grabbed it? I don't know anything in your purse.
Just grab my purse, please.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, there's like 90% of India is like vegetarian. Hey Google, what's the percentage of India that's vegetarian?
On the website Quora.com, they say,
Yes.
according to the Sample Registration System Baseline Survey 2014 released by the Registrar General of India, 71% of Indians over the age of 15 are non-vegetarian.
Oh, it's now less. When I was reading up on it, it was like 90. But I guess the North American culture and other cultures have come into India, but they were saying that most of them because of their religion, the major religion was I think it's Hindu, and Hindu is vegetarian. But then you have all the other countries like Pakistan and um, what else is around India? My brain just went blank. Like Sri Lanka. I'm not like we love going to this one place called Selawanta, which is a Sri Lankan restaurant. And they have this wonderful curry, like a spicy curried mutton roll, which is mutton is old lamb. Um, and it's spicy. It comes with a spicy dipping sauce. It's like an egg roll but mutton. And all of their dishes are like extremely hot. So if you ever go to some place that says they serve Sri Lankan food, order the mild if you don't like your insides burning. Yes, I know it said 71%, but before when I was reading up on it for my kids' project, it was like 90% of the country is vegetarian. This was a couple of years ago. I don't know. Or they're supposed to be. That's why they don't. They eat lots because it's Hindu. I think is vegetarian. They said 9% was Hindu or whatever, and they were also vegetarian. We have a couple here. Rowan has her last exam today. Abby finished on Friday. Rowan, when you're shopping, when you find something that you like, a picture of it.
I might not be able to. I don't get into that visual.
I'll tell Gabby to take a picture of it.
Yeah, tell her.
Okay, I'll
I'm
tell
not
her.
gonna tell her. I won't remember.
I'll tell her. Good luck on your exam. Grab coffee.
Yeah, they just texted me. She has the cheat sheet, so I have to find it. But I have the reviews.
Amanda says good luck, Rowan. She's like, I'm tired. What?
Rebecca's teasing me.
Why?
Cause she's like, hey, I'm the exam.
You're like, hey, I get to go shopping. Don't tease her back.
She already seen on my Snapchat.
And Carolyn says, you can do it, Rowan.
Okay.
Yes, she has a math exam. She is good at math. So not too worried, but she's worried. But she's
my teacher gave me stupid things to do with the exam to get the mark to be 100 because he didn't want to do the math.
yes. So her teacher, for example, for the exam, they sent them home with an exam review. So
that's worth 5 marks.
That's worth 5 marks, and then her cheat sheet, like filling out is worth 3 marks. So she had to fill out a page or whatever of formulas and stuff like that that she should be able to use in her exam. It's worth 3%.
Only using one side of the cheat sheet. We don't need both sides of the cheat sheet.
Okay, cool. Did you print off your resumes, or you're not going to? Oh, you did. Cool.
But the 2 pages, I couldn't figure out how to do them double-sided, so.
That's fine. Do you have a stapler?
No.
You should grab a stapler. Or ask in resource to staple. Yes, she gets to go shopping. So that's the thing. My teenage girls don't like shopping. So her friend, she needs a new bathing suit because her bathing suit from last year is getting stretched out. So she needs a new bathing suit. And she doesn't like shopping. Well, I personally can't go shop. I've tried it. Buy bathing suits for her to try on afterwards.
So hard to shop for.
And she's so hard to shop for. But shopping with her, I did last year and the year before, was like pulling my hair out. Okay.
Yeah, because you come and give me granny clothing.
I kept on giving her granny clothes because she wants to get. She likes 2 pieces because they fit better and stuff like that. And she can get different sizes of top and bottom and stuff. What? My phone, my purse.
You stapler.
Oh, stapler.
And I'll find that anyway.
In the supplies.
Can you help me?
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna find her stapler.
Where's your thing?
It's not there. It's in the shoulder strap.
Yeah?
No, in the shoulder strap.
No. 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 Is it this one?
Was it in the shoulder? Yeah.
When's that ship? Because I also love, I put my co-op. I put my co-op on here.
Yes, I saw that.
I really pulled off what was being today and a chocolate mix.
Yes, I like that. It was well worth it.
I'm gonna get something more again to figure out what's
Try a
what.
stapler.
Oh, can I have something like a folder or something to put in? Why did you put it in a Ziploc bag?
Well, no, you need a folder too. Because you can hand it back here.
Whatever.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Just remember, if you drop off resumes to places that you actually like. And back, sorry. She's also going to bring her resume while she's shopping to drop off at places that she likes. Yeah, she's not a big shopping person, but she wants to get the stuff at the store. So, shopping with her is almost as bad as shopping with Abby. Because it takes forever.
Yeah. I can't find anything that fits it. Yeah.
You're in and out, Amanda? Yeah. When I shop, I'm not in and out. I like to, well, it's usually harder for me to find stuff that fits and look.
To shop with. When we start leaving, you find something, you get distracted. So, like, you're the worst person to shop with.
Yes, but you guys are hard to shop
We're
with.
just indecisive. We don't.
You're indecisive. There we go.
Find what we want, we go. You find what you want. Oh, look, there's something else.
Yes. See, I like shopping. I don't like clothing shopping myself because it gets hard to figure out what I want and making sure that things fit and fit right and blah blah blah. I love grocery shopping though, and I could grocery shop every day if I wanted. I like to go in and up and down the aisles and check out all the interesting foods. So yeah, grocery shopping with me, people tend not to like. Good luck, Rowan. Bye. Grabbing coffee. But our friend wants to go shopping and drop off her resume at the mall at various different stores. So Rowan's decided to print off her resume and drop it off as well. Because, I mean, right now I think she has it that she's babysitting some days during the summer. But, babysitting is not minimum wage. So, I'm like, you're getting paid less per hour for babysitting than you are getting paid for minimum wage. So, now babysitting's more fun, but as I told her, for her to drop off resumes, places that she likes to shop at herself or she's interested in, or that the skills are also transferable. Because I asked her about finding a part-time job this year, and she goes, no, everywhere around here, that she didn't want to work with anybody that she knew that also worked there. Not that she was friends with, but that she knew in her class or her school or whatever. And she's like, no. And then she's heard some certain part-time jobs. So here, part-time jobs for students, you can get part-time jobs, and that's great. And if you're a good worker, so they'll give you the hours, and they'll go more. So that was her problem, was that she has friends who work at the cinema, and they keep on giving them way more hours than they had requested, and sometimes giving them late shifts, so they're not done till like midnight, or that. So they don't have time, and then every weekend. Well, they want to have weekends off. I understand, you're a teenager, you want to have weekends off. Not that my kids party or anything like that, but they want the weekends off. Not all the weekends. So I'm like, well, you can say no. Now, if you say no, you might limit yourself of how many shifts you might get. But just saying yes all the time, you'll get burnt out, and then you'll resent working there. So, And it's not that she needs the job to like pay bills right now. Well, that's what she says. Her friends that work at the local grocery store and at the theater, they're getting way too many hours. In the summertime, they're like, they don't have time to have fun. I'm like, you can say no. If you have a problem with it, I'll go. I can tell you what to say. You'll say, "Sir, go up to your boss and say, okay, I need to have this is too many hours. I need time to be studies. I'm planning on college, university. I cannot take that many hours. I need to also have a life. And if you don't like it, I can find another job. Because this is the thing, getting a minimum wage job here, they're a dime a dozen. So either companies will sometimes take advantage of you, or maybe not treat you as great. Not usually bad because not like in some countries. But if you quit, they can find somebody to replace you fairly easily. So that's why, like, finding a job though, if you don't have the skills and all you can get is a minimum wage job, uh, it's sometimes hard because they are picking the cream of the crop of those that are applying. So if they've seen that you've worked multiple different um, places for short periods of time, right there shows a history of you're just working for like 6 months, a year, and then when you're not happy, you leave. So you're probably not going to be happy here as well. So they're probably not going to hire you. But if they see that you work there for a long period of time, they're more likely to hire you because, oh, you're committed, you're loyal to the company or whatever. Good morning, FFP. How's it going? So now I'm trying to think of places for Abby to apply for a part-time job, which is more difficult than anything. Her getting a job in the real world is probably easier than in the part-time job world. Um, because the skills that she has are more suited for possibly a desk job or research and stuff. Because she likes research, but the part-time jobs that are out there are like working in fast food, working in the kitchen, working at a grocery store, working in retail. Um, and those things also don't interest her. And of my children, she's the one that, well, if she's not interested in it, she's not going to even try. Like, she's not even going to, fake it to to make it type thing. She if she doesn't like it, she'll tell you, which is not always good either. So, and this is the common thread with a lot of her friends that are also blind or legally blind, is that it's hard to find a part-time job. And even when you do co-op, like one of her friends, a couple of her friends did co-op, um, one in the kitchen and one in the nursery, and like a nursery school, like preschool, daycare. They're probably, doing co-op, in my opinion, is someplace that you get skills that are either transferable or getting skills that will allow them to possibly hire you as a summer student. The chances of those places hiring them is pretty slim. You know, not impossible. Like one of our friends, um, that with the short-term placements, he works at a bakery. He's completely blind, and he's been working at the bakery for like 15 years, and he's there full time and has been. He's really good. And he does all the breads and all that stuff at a bakery. Yes, and that's how I am with my kids. Like like I say it with my kids. Like when I say I like something, I like something. If I don't like something, I'm like, it's not bad, but it could be improved. Because I also want to be real with them. Because if I'm not going to be real with them, they're going to have a huge wake-up call when the world is real with them, right? So, if you have ideas of places that might be good things for Abby to do part-time job at, I think I think she would do well. She would like to, earn her own money and stuff like that. But there's some things that it's just hard to figure out. Now, in the real world, when she has skills, she could easily get a job, a desk job, right? But the desk jobs are not part-time jobs, right? Not, teenage jobs. When she has the skills. Like, I mean, I know a lot of blind professionals that have real paying jobs. But they have the skills to back them up. They have the university degrees. They have like both my in-laws, both blind, and they both worked full-time jobs all their lives. And, you know, that is what they had. And they both retired early. Like, if they've been retired 8, 10 years. So they both retired in their 50s because they made good financial decisions. Like, my mother-in-law just turned 65 and she's been retired 8 years, I think. So it's not necessarily jobs for the future, but the jobs for the right now. That is a bit difficult to figure out. I've contemplated maybe the grocery store and having her stock shelves or whatever. She could probably do that. And now, if the cash registers were accessible and were auditory, she could probably do that too. Because she's pretty quick with her fingers and typing stuff in. But she has a very good memory. I don't think she would do well in retail. For one, she doesn't like shopping, so and she doesn't know how to fold shirts and pants well yet. We're still working on that. What are you doing today, FFP? Today, doing cleaning. And then, I think going out this afternoon. My husband has the day off. Well, he has the week off. So, he wants to go and get a few things. He wants to go and use his PC points to get some of his special treats like canned ravioli and his Hawkins cheesies. Because his PC points are different from my PC points. He has his own PC points, and I have my own PC points. I should probably... She might do well. Actually, she might do well at the pet store. Petting the animals and feeding them. I should talk to her, see Because there's a pet store that she can get to that's close to our house and the school. I think the Pet Value. Because she loved, like, when she loves, we call her the pet whisperer. So, like, we're walking down the street, she'll ask if she could pet the dog. Like, she asks if it's a friendly dog, if she could pet. And she'll pet the dog, and the dog just, like, there's one dog that's around this area that's a rescue that doesn't like people, but likes Abby. That the owner's like, I don't know how she does it, because she'll go and then get the dog to smell her and stuff like that, pet her, and all of a sudden this dog lies down and shows her her belly. I'm like, she doesn't even do that to me. I'm her owner. I feed her, you know. So, and so I'm like, yeah, she could probably, but the problem, like, that one's not so bad. I think that's actually, I might suggest that to her. Of maybe applying, but she has to get better. Well, this is the thing, is that she has to get better at cleaning, like, the killer. Like, she can feed the cats and stuff. She has to, like, cleaning the kitty. Our cat's killer. But there's other jobs that she could do there, possibly. There is a thought. Because when she gets into the real world and has skills, I don't see her having a problem getting a job, because she's very personable and assertive and independent, and she can, she can definitely ask for accommodations that she needs for herself. But it's like getting her to that point. And learning how to work with others is a skill we all need to learn. Especially with people that we don't necessarily aren't friends with or whatever. As I keep on trying to tell my girls, like, you gotta learn to be in a group where you're not agreeing with everything they say. And you have to learn that with your friends, that if they're interested in something and you're not interested in something, you have to learn to be polite and show interest, even if you're not completely interested, because that's what friends do. Versus complaining, oh, I don't like One Direction, or whatever she says. One of her friends likes One Direction. So it's like, she's like, oh, well, I don't like it. Like, you have to show interest, because not everything that you're interested in is anybody else interested in either. It's not all about you. You have to learn to deal with others. That's a very good skill to have. Learning how to get along with anybody, whether you agree with them or not, whether they're smarter than you or not, whether they're, obnoxious or not, is a good skill. Oh, it's right. It rained here this weekend on and off, so we had a lot of pockets. I was very happy yesterday for the church barbecue that it didn't rain. It was actually sunny. It was cloudy with sun, and then last night it just started sprinkling when we were about to leave my in-laws. So it wasn't like a downpour, and then it rained overnight, which the gardens really needed. But Saturday it rained most of the day, during the day, then stopped in the middle of the day, and then rained at night. So I don't have to water the gardens. Yay! I have sushi. I rarely have sushi. What? Oh. Apparently I had her, and she didn't want to be petted. Yep, everybody that's in here knows that Jacob you're in Canada. I think it's just Amanda, you, and me. Right now. Let me see. Yep. Today I have to figure out a video today, I think, on an update on my low spend month and my plans for July, which, since you're in here, I think I'm going to be extending my low spend month to July, but not limiting myself to 200. I think I'll try it up to 300 and try and see if I can save more, because we still have lots of stuff in the freezer. But I did manage to put ice cream in there. So, it's, I think not the problem, but the thing is, like, I'm using the stuff in the freezer, but I'm replacing it with leftovers from meals in the freezer. Or I'm making like double batches of something and putting that in the freezer. So it's getting replenished with newer stuff. So, I still hope, because I want to have some space in my freezer for things like ice cream and freezies and all that stuff. So I don't have to kind of, every time I buy something, try and reorganize things and move it so that the door closes. Because that's not fun. But I have to figure out my menu plan for this week. Now that I have the groceries I picked up last week. And that's about it. So, well, I should get going. I've got to get things started. I've got more laundry to do. I've washed it all. I just have to fold it. I did six loads this weekend. So, and that included 2 loads of towels and sheets and stuff. 2 or 3. I still have 1/2 of a load. I'll just add things to it. But it never is done. Dishes and laundry are never done. It's kind of like taxes. They never finish. So, have a great day, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and feel free to check out my other videos, and please click like, share, and subscribe. Bye, friends.